Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, folks. It is the one and only V The Guerrilla coming to you live on this edition of CUSS with Gus. And folks, we have him. He is back. The silver-tongued Grecian himself, the one and only cultural phenom, the most prolific social commentator of our generation. And folks, you can find Gus Demos over at perpetualassets.com. Perpetualassets.com. Don't let your 401k become a 101k because of what's happening with a certain country in the Middle East. It's not okay. So get a hold of Gus Demos, and he can show you how to properly set yourself up, either in crypto or gold, or the proper strategies in place where you take your own financial life by the balls. Get a hold of him, perpetualassets.com. And with that being said, Gus, welcome back, bro.
Shalom, shalom, my fellow
Shalom, slave. Shalom, Mishpacha, shalom. Shabbat shalom. How are you?
Shalom, my fellow slave. How are you?
Good. I'm doing quite well. Did you? I laid prostrate this morning in front of the image of Benjamin Netanyahu, and I offered sacrifices to him. I sacrificed a small pigeon on the altar of Benjamin Netanyahu.
How many small children were you obligated to hand
Only
over?
three. Only three this time.
That's not enough. That's the. I think if you really want to be in with the tribe, I think the minimum is 20. So you have to hand over a school bus. And then,
I'm not there yet. It's like that we're talking about, like, that's like almost Clinton levels. I'm not there yet. I'll start with 3. And then we'll work to a short bus. And then from the short bus, we'll work to the actual full-on school bus, man.
It's a tribute. You gotta hand over. I think they call it a Shabbat goy. Someone who's able to work, a goy who's able to conduct the labor on the Sabbath.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's one of their.
If you need it done, then I'm your goy. Handy goys.
What is, out of curiosity, if you fast forward, because now Iran seems like it was 20 years ago. If you fast forward to all the Epstein stuff the last 2-3 days, do you have anyone in your circle that is trying to rationalize this, or is at any point trying to say, are there still any people who are on the quote unquote trust the plan side?
Yes.
Fuck up. Seriously,
dude. There's a few holdouts. There's a few holdouts that are still like, well, he's probably using this as some sort of a negotiation tactic against the deep state in order for them to surrender.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
So they're still like, because I saw a snippet. I saw Alex Jones like, no, Trump's. The first reaction was like, oh no, Trump's blackmailing the deep state. I'm like, yeah, that's possible. That's one possibility. The more likely possibility is that we're all slaves to Jew oligarchs. That's the more likely. The more likely possibility is that we're all slaves to Jew oligarchs. Dude, that's the more likely.
I don't know about you, man. I'm all in on Greater Israel. I don't know about you.
Listen, it's become, and you know what's fucked up is that it was it was harder to get red pilled 30-40 years ago.
Yeah,
because there was a certain amount of, let's keep it in the DL. Like, let's keep it all on the DL. Let's keep the nepotism, the ethnocentrism. Let's keep the central banking stuff. Let's keep the media monopoly. Let's keep it all on the DL. It's become, what's happened the last 2 years is it's become overt, meaning there's no fear of it anymore. No. Like, there's no fear of, I told you, what led me down that specific rabbit hole. Yeah. I knew central banking was a total fucking scam, and yes, are there a large amount of Jewish banking oligarchs that are behind it all the last couple, last 100 years or whatever? Of course, but no one was really focused on the racial or ethnic aspect of it.
Yeah.
What made it a couple things for me made it very clear. Once you first uncover, if you pull up all the anti-white literature of the books, the articles, whatever, you notice it's 99% Jewish authors, number one. So the entire woke push the last 15 years was all Jews. But it was, what makes it tricky, and most people didn't figure out, is it's Bolshevik Jews. But that's only one end. That's only one variable. The other variable we didn't see until a couple years ago, when we watched. Let me simplify. This country and the West in general allowed brown people and black people to burn the country down whenever they felt like it for years and dominate campus culture and say death to whitey and blah blah blah. We were told that if you're anything but white, you are the messiah on a college campus, and you were allowed to do anything you want. And we all observed this for a decade. We're like, okay, I mean, these are the new rules. This whole woke thing that flipped on a fucking dime when the protest and anger of these leftist woke brown kids turned to the Jews.
Yeah.
So the minute they allow these kids to do whatever they want for 10 years on campuses, death to whitey, the West sucks, blah blah blah. The minute these woke kids flipped on the Jews, within 5 minutes, you saw the whole country come down on these fucking brown kids within 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Like within a day or two, they're like, fucking throw them in the ocean. Like, you saw the entire fucking oligarchy turn on what we were previously told to worship within 5 fucking minutes. And I hate to be as cliche as the old Voltaire quote, but if you really want to see who rules over you, see who you're not allowed to criticize.
100%. 100%. That's the dead giveaway.
Within minutes, you're like, holy shit, it's the fucking Jews. So with not only that, but the whole oligarchy switched on a dime. And that's when I started seeing all these old newspaper articles, 110 years old, 120 years old, 90 years old. Even Winston Churchill wrote Bolshevism versus Zionism in the soul of the Jewish people. Yeah. And that's when the Zionism sales pitch comes into play, meaning Bolshevism, the Jewish Bolshevism, is designed to get all these minority groups to hate straight white men. Yeah. 100%. So it's designed to get Black people, Latinos, Arabs, feminists, gays. You take all these oppression groups and it's kill whitey. Kill the man, kill the patriarchy. That's the Bolshevism sales pitch.
You know, the thing is, the thing that people often forget is our brains, our incredible instinctual brains that have been around for tens of thousands of years, millennia, right? For millennia, our brains are designed to pick up on pattern recognition, right?
Yes, yes.
Now, if I told you that there was a whole bunch of Indian proctologists that are giving everybody colon cancer, right?
Right.
Like, why is there? There's this, the state in the United States, let's just say Texas, and every single person that goes to an Indian doctor winds up getting colon cancer. You'll start looking at Indian doctors differently.
Of course.
And so it's pattern recognition. Every single anti-white, you need to destroy Western civilization. You need to get rid of the white male is the poison. He needs to go. Every woke ideology that promotes LGBTQ, like fourth wave feminism, every single one of them, you cannot throw a rock without hitting a person that's of Jewish descent. Like, I don't understand that, right? That's an anomaly, right?
So that's only half the equation.
Yeah.
So the Bolshevism, the Jewish Bolshevism, is half the equation. The other half of the equation is the Zionism. So every 5 years, every 10 years, they have to give whitey a pressure release valve. So whitey eventually gets super pissed and is like, what the fuck, blah, blah, blah. So they flip a switch And they're like, perfect timing. Guess what? We need to use Whitey to bomb the Arabs again anyway. Like, so when after 10, 15, after 10, 15 years of saying, die Whitey, you're useless, we have to replace Whitey. Then they say, you know what, we actually need Whitey and their bombs and their tax money and everything else to kill these Muslims again.
Yeah,
so
the biggest threat to Western civilization
they flip the switch. Yeah. And they leave Whitey alone for a while Whitey conducts his business, meaning they use Whitey to get the same brown people they were telling you are oppressed. They come back and they kill them using Whitey's missiles. So this is the scam. The scam is an instigating perpetual conflict and hoping you don't notice who the instigators are.
100%. Did you see this clip from I saw the whole interview with Sagar and Tucker Carlson. Phenomenal. It was a really good interview.
Yes, it was.
This one clip, it sent shivers down my spine. This is the one clip that literally made me pucker up. Okay, like I'll play it real quick. Cowboy, we got the sound going? Here we go.
The lie at this point is not even part of trying to convince any of this is true.
Yes.
The lie is a signal to everybody else involved in the scheme that to the ultimate ends, the United States government will go to protect all of you.
Yes.
And that's the question. For
Man,
what
is that smart?
purpose?
Can you say that? I'm sorry. It's a signal.
The lie is not for you and me. The lie is for those implicated to say, no matter what, we will protect you. And then we have to start asking the question, why? As in, what is the purpose of this entire thing? The lie
and that's what makes it. You were saying earlier where, they're not even hiding it anymore. They don't even care if the lie sounds absolutely retarded.
Well, the reason, there's twofold this has to go away. There's two reasons. He touched on one of them. Number one, I've said for years on this program and many other programs, the system really doesn't run on incentives because incentives aren't good enough. Meaning everyone's like, oh, AIPAC control, AIPAC this, AIPAC's not shit. Like, okay, here's some campaign money. That's not gonna make a person a slave. That's not enough to make the person totally obedient. You want someone to be totally obedient, you get them committing felonies filmed felonies on tape. So if you want a senator, a CEO, or whatever to be your slave indefinitely, you get him to commit atrocious felonies on tape. And if that doesn't work, you just, kind of like the narcos used to do, you just show him pictures of all his children and say, we'll kill your fucking family. So threats of violence are probably like the end line. Like that's if they really, shooting Kennedy in the fucking face is the end line. But before that, I think 99% of people are willing to submit just based on criminal blackmail. So if they have you blackmailed with something criminally, you will 99% of the population will submit. The other 1%, they might have taken a step further with assassinations or threats to the family or whatever. So what he touched on with Tucker, he's half right. It's a signal to the CEOs and the politicians that, hey, we got your back. You still work for us. We have you blackmailed. You're good. We're not going to release. As long as you keep playing ball, we're good to go. No worries. That's half of it. The other half is they don't want to they can't tell the Goy population that Mossad runs this whole fucking thing. You're slaves to fucking Jews. That's what they can't tell the population. If you really want to know what's going on, if they we can't release the Epstein files, because Epstein worked for Jewish intelligence, and Jewish intelligence has the entire Western political leadership blackmailed. That's what they can't release to the public. So the head explosion to the public would be, oh, by the way, Mossad has all your politicians blackmailed, or whatever, 75% of them, 80%, whatever. Right. So that's the ultimate. That's twofold. It's a signal to the politicians and the business leaders that we got your back. You're still in good hands. Just keep doing what we say. And then, and more importantly, they can't go on, they can't go on a mainstream social media platform or network and say, oh, by the way, your entire political system is fake. It's run by Jewish blackmail. Like, they can't do that, right? Because people might stop paying taxes. People might stop participating in this bullshit. So, I mean, isn't it as simple as that? The average person, you can't sit the average person down and say this whole thing is make believe. These are all blackmailed fucking scumbags. The Jewish oligarchs have blackmailed your entire political system, or the majority of it. So it's not about, again, incentives only get a person so far. Put yourself in the sociopath's shoes. Would you feel more comfortable about say Nancy Pelosi was one of your minions, or Joe Biden is one of your minions? Do you feel more comfortable giving Joe Biden money, or do you feel more comfortable having Joe Biden on 200 felonies where you could incarcerate him and his whole family? It's the blackmail. That's the power. The power is not, because it takes minimal integrity to turn down money, but threatening someone's fucking freedom, that's the real power. Right. Threatening to put someone in a cage, that's real power. It sucks. I wish that weren't the case, but at some point you just have to, I can't speak for everyone. At some point you just have to look at solutions. Me and you have said it, going on years and years and years, the best case scenario might be a collapse of some sort. I mean, if you live in a system that allows pedophilia and blackmail, then I don't know if it's a real system. I mean, is that a too simplistic way of stating it? Overt pedophilia and blackmail? And
no, 100%. If the whole thing is like we can't put out the Epstein list because it will collapse. It will take down some of the most powerful people in the world, and that'll cause a systemic collapse. That means we don't have a system.
No, it's a fraud. The whole thing's a fraud.
And my thing is, this is not either way. Whether you collapse it now, right, and then we somehow fall apart, probably go into an economic depression. Either way, we're going to hit the depression because the Ponzi scheme is running its course. Either way, the dollar is going to implode. Either way, we're heading for a date with destiny. We're not going to escape this. The only thing they're doing by not releasing this is prolonging the inevitable. In other words, by not releasing this, it's giving these oligarchs more time to pick off whatever meat is left on the bones, Gus. That's all it is.
Bro, me and you, there's a Netanyahu quote that I've seen floating around the last year or so, and I don't know, where it might be from the 80s or 90s, an old Netanyahu quote that basically says America's the golden calf, and when we're done milking it for all we can, we're going to let it just die, sure. Some welfare state. And if you really look, I mean, that's precisely what's happening to the country. The fact, I mean, so again, I think many of us, or many people, have a stereotype in their mind that they're going to wake up one morning and gold's going to be $50,000 and they have this Weimar, hyperinflation or collapse or 1929 stock market crash scenario in their mind. And I've often told people, like, those scenarios are not only unlikely, but that's not what your overlords, the oligarchs, that's not what they want, because that would knee-jerk pitchforks. That would knee-jerk the population into holy fuck, like that would get people on their heels. The oligarchy prefers a Japan scenario, slow elimination of the middle class, linear collapse, turn everyone into a peasant without them even realizing. Dude, I saw some young kid, 20-year-old, post a picture. And I just saw this like yesterday or 2 days ago. Some 20-year-old kid posted a picture of a high school party in the 90s and said, was it really like this back?
Yeah.
Just It was a picture of like 20 kids at a high school party drinking beer out of a keg or something.
Yep.
And the 20-year-old was so perplexed by this reality or culture because he'd never experienced anything like it, right? This new generation, called the Gen Z or whatever they call them, this was all like alien to him because the old cliche, you'll never know what they took from you, right? So that's why they prefer linear. If the degeneracy, the molestation, the pedophilia, all of it, they've conditioned the population to live like, we use the old, bread and circus. They've convinced the population to, look for likes on social media, wait for your fucking Papa John's pizza, watch the game, they don't know what they've been, taken from. So to your point, it doesn't have to be an overnight collapse where you wake up and Bitcoin's $1 million or gold is, 10,000 or whatever. They're eliminating the middle class. They want nothing but peasants and oligarchs.
Neo-feudalism. That's it.
Dude, I'm here visiting a place that is, I'm in Argentina right now. It's what they've done to this country. Like it's what they did, you saw it firsthand in El Salvador, where, a salary for a blue collar worker is $30 a day, but it's a beer is still $5. So how does the average worker get a beer and a burger? It's poor people and oligarchs. That's it. No middle class, it's a total caste system. And that's what they want for the United States. I mean, they want oligarch. I mean, you could use whatever cliche you want, what's the Hunger Games and shit like that. Like that's what they want. So the question is, what do we do about it? I don't think there's any. My opinion is I don't think there's any voting your way out of this. I don't think you should wait for any savior. There's no one coming.
And there's no grand strategy here either. That's the other thing. There's no, there's not. I'm looking at this shit and I'm talking with some smart guys on the back end, and I'm just like, they're like, what, when I tell them, hey, do you think there's some sort of grad strategy? They look at me like I'm an idiot.
Dude, I've spoken to people too, very successful people, and I watch what our Jewish overlords are doing, and you even take like that Netanyahu quote. The solution might be, listen, just try to milk as much wealth as you can out of the system until it does fucking collapse, and then figure out where you want to go from there. So the only thing, even I don't want to go all over the place like a chicken with its head cut off, but even immigrants that come to the United States, what they use, a lot of them, what they come for is just to work and then send remittance back to their country. So one of the largest source of revenue for El Salvador for years and years and years, and it's huge for Mexicans too. Many of the Mexicans I grew up around or worked with in kitchens and stuff, they would just send money back home. So it's the same type thing. The only thing, the United States economic zone, the only thing it might be good for still is wealth extraction. I don't know if that makes sense or not.
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. For now, it's wealth extraction, right? Yeah, and this is the reason why we, and you got all these autists on X. They're like, oh, look at the way Netanyahu put his right foot on the red carpet and his left foot on the concrete, and look at the way that he shook his hand. Clearly, the Trump is in charge of this, dude. It's
dude. At this point, it's just low IQ retard shit. I can almost forgive it 4 years ago, if you still wanted to be romantic about it, But again,
bro, here's the thing: when they're making your immigration policy, that if you say anything derogatory against Israel and they scrub your social media profile, you're not coming into the country.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, if you say anything bad, you could be denaturalized. So if you're a naturalized citizen and now you say something bad about Israel, any criticism of Israel is anti-Semitism, which is the biggest bullshit there is in God's green earth.
Well, it's not even at this point. It's much easier for the average person and me and you have talked about this on, via, Texas and whatever. Like they did the same thing during the Russian Revolution.
Yeah.
They did they controlled Lenin, controlled a large portion of the White Army, controlled opposition, and put out fake messages like what did they call it? Operation whatever the Jewish Bolsheviks called it. But it was to control the opposition. It was like, trust the plan. It was the cue of the day. Trust
it really
the
was.
plan.
Same people that brought you. What was the name of that Operation Cowboy? I don't know if you knew the name of that operation. I think you did. Operation Hope or something like that, or
we just ate the Tsar and all his daughters and son. Yeah. We trust the plan. Okay, it's much easier. So anyone who's listen at this point, if you're still on the whole trust the plan bullshit, you're either in on it or you're a retard.
Yeah, Operation Trust. There you go. That's what it was called. It was called Operation Trust.
Yeah,
and it's the same people, the same Bolsheviks running the same operation with Q, and it's like stand down. There's a no, don't fucking stand down. No, make your preps. I mean, look at this. I remember this. This is from 2017. Texas City requires Israel pledge for hurricane relief. What the fuck is this? Like, who are we, man?
Dude, you're a goy. You're just that's bro. It's not. All you have to do. What do they say? Is coming from another famous Jewish Zionist, Ayn Rand. All you have to do is accept reality. Yeah. So if you accept the reality that perhaps you were born into bondage of a Jewish oligarch banking system that controls everyone through blackmail or incentives or murder in some cases, then okay. But the point is, what's crazy is not only the protocols. The protocols of Zion predicts so much of this, where they said even the portion where there's a portion in the protocols where they say we'll hide until we're so powerful we don't have to hide, and we control all the politicians and blah blah. And that's it feels kind of like that's what we're seeing now, where things were on the down low for so many years. Now it's the last 2 years it's become overt, like who our overlords are, like, and it's really fucking, it's incredible to see. Like it's hard as an American to sit there and watch your entire Senate, your entire Congress, your entire executive branch suck the cock of this foreign country. Like that
I don't get it. We're supposed to be a superpower. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's insulting at this point. Like it's like, okay,
it's so insulting. You got to be fucking retarded to think that we're not being cucked here.
No, it's the fact is they just did a better job hiding it for a long time. This has always been the case. I mean, it's just that the last 2 years they don't. Maybe we're at the point of the story where they know the empire is going to collapse and they don't have to hide anymore. I even saw an article on the Jerusalem Post. I think I sent it to you and CJ via text, like where it's like Israeli Times or something, where they're like, the Jewish futures in Asia, the West is screaming.
Yeah,
where it's almost like they're telling you,
we're almost done with you.
We've killed, this host is dead. We need a healthy one. So. I mean, seriously, like when the Israeli Times is saying the Jewish futures in the Asia, the West is finished. Like, really? Like, so maybe we are close to collapse. Like, I mean, yes. So, dude, this thing is hilarious.
This is great. We have this news report. Let me just play this real quick.
Oh, Shapiro-Stein.
Breaking news about the Epstein case.
Turns out there is no client list, like at all.
Seriously, they sure fooled me. Shapiro-Stein, take it away.
At Epstein Island, it turns out all of the people that were trafficked here just didn't exist. After all, the dude isn't even alive to tell us anymore. Jenny, back to you.
We're here outside of that dude's wife's prison holding the first person ever to be convicted of trafficking to nobody. I'm here with Ghislaine, serving 20 years for having imaginary friends, thousands of Epstein victims, but zero clients. How are you?
I 100% deserve this.
True. Where's the client list?
Israel is our greatest ally. What do you think of the verdict? How about ask how much I got paid? No other comments. What do you think of this? Sometimes you have to just let that long arm of the law all the way into the back of your colon and just let it marinate, you know? What the heck?
Sounds like we could use another Luigi, if you know what I'm saying.
Right. It's almost like the so-called Semites run the court systems and media or something.
Shut it down. My grandparents were in the pizza cost. You know that. How many times do I have to tell you? Now, back to the goy slop.
Sorry, Shapiro-Stein, won't happen again. In other news, we're down the street from where your grandparents got pizza costed. Jackie goes live from inside Elephantis' hub. We're here at Comet Pizza. Did you hear about the 6 million pizzas?
I heard they only did 271,000. But anyways, you want to see my kill room?
It's true. Anyone can search the archive for CYM Corporation's files and find out everything.
Cut. Okay, we cut that in post-production. Jenny, don't say anything antiseptic.
If only everyone saw Hillary's emails, people would understand the whole adrenochrome issue is real.
Not now. They're not ready for that. Just give them the Epstein thing and shut them down.
Right, John?
You're not wrong about that Hillary thing. Anyways, if you're still not following Jake GTV yet, you're legally retarded.
Oh my God, that was brilliant. That was brilliant. And the reason why is this, man. It's like, if you say any, you could burn an American flag. You could say the most heinous anti-American thing online. It's fine.
You know what's crazy, bro? I was going to the exact same point. Meaning the same place you're going right now is where I'm going. Meaning when you cannot look anyone with an IQ over 80, you can't look at them in the face on American soil and say, yeah, so you can burn an American flag, but not an Israeli flag. You can criticize any American president you want, but you know, every Jew is a saint or an angel. Like it's bro, the IQ, the propaganda is just low IQ. Like you can't, which again, it tells me they're not even hiding it anymore. Like Israel's not a vassal state. The West are the vassal states. Do you understand? You're not allowed to criticize the capital. The capital is not Washington. The capital is Tel Aviv. So, like that's I mean, what's the rebuttal to something like that? Like, we're on American soil and you could say whatever you want about America, but not about, I mean, bro, that's not.
But you got to understand the plan, bro. It's like, if we let the Epstein list out, it's going to collapse all of society. What the fuck society are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, we're fucked either way. At least if we collapse it now, there might be something to salvage.
If you're protecting, there's no way, religion aside, if you're protecting a system that rapes kids on film, like then
Blackmail, fake economy, fake democracy, fake everything, fake markets.
Come on, dude. This is becoming it's all becoming low IQ slop, brother. And it's not even about Democrat that's a false, at this point, all that bullshit's fake. Like the whole Democrat Republican thing's a fucking fake soap opera. It's all bullshit. These people, I mean, no, this has nothing to do with protecting Trump or trust the plan or blah, blah, blah. You live in a fucking pedophile Jew oligarchy. Like, sorry. I mean, it is what it is. So, you know, say whatever you want about fucking any American that's ever lived, any Christian that's ever lived. Now you can say anything you want about any Arab that's ever lived, any Muslim. Anything goes. but if Shapiro-Stein's missing a bagel, you have a fucking problem. Shut the fucking border down. There's a bagel missing in Brooklyn. Give me a fucking break. Like, dude, it's become insulting. It's become fucking insulting. And bro, that's why they're flexing. I think that's why
they don't
flexing.
Even care. They're not even bothering to be sophisticated.
They're flexing raw power right now. This is just raw power, just like we saw, you know, with COVID and the vax. I mean, it's raw power. It's like, oh, you said something about Israel, we'll just deport you. Like, what? Like, I mean, they're flexing. And you want to see, what do they call it? The humiliation ritual. I think we're in that part of the story. Like where Netanyahu brings dirty laundry to the White House, like, wash my underwear, goy. Like, I think we're in the humiliation ritual part of the story. where they don't even have to hide it anymore. They don't give a fuck. You know, it is what it is. I mean, it's a sad reality. You know, I wish it weren't the case, but you know, it's the question is, bro. The question is, where do we go from here? What do we do about it? Blah blah blah.
I don't know. And Trump said we're still talking about Epstein, so you know, it's we shouldn't do that. We should forget about it. There are more important things happen. I mean, how do you do that? Oh, we have it on. You know, it's sitting on my desk. Pam Bondi says, sitting on my desk, waiting for me to review it.
Well, this all comes on the heels of the Iran stuff, dude. Like, think about that. Like, more in your face. Like, so this comes on the heels of almost triggering an entire fucking major conflict in the Middle East because Israel had the need to start dropping bombs on Iran. So again, it's all blatant. It's become blatant. It's not. They don't try to be clever about it anymore. They don't give a fuck. Like, so. You know, I'm upset about it too. It sucks. I mean, if you want to see the upside, the upside is when the pendulum switches from Bolshevism to Zionism, which it has the last 2 years. They let the pressure release valve. Here's the good news for you. They're going to give you a few years off of tranny story time. So you're back to hating Muslims for a couple of years.
Well, I mean, that's what Charlie Kirk told us, man. Charlie Kirk told us in the height of all this Epstein debacle that's been happening. Charlie Kirk told us the most dangerous thing that we need to look out for in Western civilization is Muslims.
No, dude, it's almost, bro, it's almost entertaining the predictability that they've tried to take us into a time machine like 2012 to 2025 didn't happen. They're like, yeah, you know, those 13 years of sterilizing your kids and all that stuff, and the gay pride parades and testicles in your face and, you know, the forced vaccinations. Yeah, let's sweep that under the rug. You're allowed to hate the Arabs again. Like, shut the fuck, dude, fuck you, people. Like, fuck you. I mean, they've made us such conditioned, docile, passive fucking slaves that you have to thank them for not promoting, you know, pornography to a 5-year-old. Like, that's the kind of sick, twisted, warped fucking people you're dealing with. And you have to be afraid of the Arabs again.
Yeah, they're trying to drum that playbook up again,
bro. I'm telling you, it's just also they've tried to take the country back to 2005. Like, they went from Bolshevik, you know, we're gonna molest your kids and, you know, what, all that bullshit. They flipped the switch on a fucking dime to these fucking brown people, deport them all. Like, what dude? I can't even play along with it anymore. Like, I can't.
It's the funniest thing in the world to me, where, you know, they're crying about anti-Semitism, and look, you can't even take a DNA test in Israel, because then you find out that 99% of these people who are claiming to be Semites and saying, "Oh, it's anti-Semitic," say so, are not even Semitic. They have no blood or DNA link to that.
Bro,
land.
they're all Eastern European. Listen, before these people hated Germany, they hated Russia.
They hated Russia.
So, yeah,
so
if you think
Russia, Hitler saw that they were going to do this to Germany, and he took power. That's history.
They were trying to sack Russia since 1850.
Right.
Like, so from 1850 to 1917, it was all these, you know, Eastern European Jewish. They were writing book. I mean, it's just article after book after what everyone. I mean, it's clear as day. And these are Owen Schroy even came to terms. He goes, none of these is every Israeli prime minister has a changed name. They change it. It's they've all of them from the beginning. They're all Eastern European. They're all Ukrainians.
Majority of them Ukrainian. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Trotsky, they're all Trotskyite. I mean, they're all Eastern European. They're Eastern European Jewish. Like it's fucking amazing. And we're supposed to not know. You're not supposed to notice. You're
not supposed to notice. Your brain is not supposed to notice these things.
No, it's the greatest grift pulled was getting Whitey to loathe himself.
Yeah.
While they demonstrate the most ethnocentric, nepotistic pride in their heritage, you are supposed to loathe your grandfather and great-grandfather. Like, you're supposed to loathe your ancestors while they overtly worship theirs. That's the greatest grift ever pulled. So, and I saw, there's a great meme I've seen too. It's like, you have two options. This is fucking, because it's so priceless. He goes, you could believe what Jews say about your ancestors, or you could believe what your ancestors told you about Jews. Those are your two options. So yeah, it's not offensive or anti-Semitic not to want to be anyone's slave.
No.
And if you find yourself in a place where you could criticize anyone you want on planet Earth, except for one group, which happens to be the most powerful, successful group on the planet, then yeah, you're living in propaganda, tyranny, propaganda, all of the above. So it's, at this point, you could keep trusting the plan. You could do whatever you want, or you could look for solutions, and that's where we're
back to the drawing board, brother. Back to the drawing board. Well, we had a good run for 100 days. That's about it.
We did. The truth is, the minute they prioritized deporting people who criticize Israel, that was the first red flag. Iran became a massive red flag. And then the Epstein stuff is just like the straw that broke the camel's back. It's like, okay, fuck off. Like, no, I don't, whatever. So keep trusting the plan if you wish, or, see where you're going. My thing is, where do I see it going from here? I don't think China, maybe you follow the Asia more than I do. I don't see China and Russia and North Korea going along with any of this bullshit.
No, they're not. They're not going to.
No, they're like, fuck you, stick it up your ass. I think the Chinese foreign minister said Trump's a slave to Zionism, not even Americans, or something like that. Like, this is like yesterday or 2 days ago, which Asia's not going to play ball. Like, the world's going in two directions. So there'll be all those countries, and then there'll be, the Zionist vassal states. So that's where we are.
Yep.
And the way I'm proceeding is just, put my head down, try to accumulate capital, and then maximize my mobility, my ability to pivot, and go from not be a slave, the Doug Casey model to a certain extent, not be a slave to any sovereign, because you never know which sovereign's going to fall. They flip regimes, like they change regimes, like they change shirts. So that's my strategy moving forward.
Well, I think Argentina, Milei is going to be good for a while. He did place his hand on Fort Antonia. I'm sorry, the Temple of Solomon.
No, I don't trust him either. I mean, it's at this.
Isn't
point,
that sick? Is they all fly to Israel. They all think they're placing their hands on the Temple of David, right? And in reality, it's Fort Antonia. It's an old Roman fort, and these idiots are putting their hands on it.
They've put us on our heels in regards to, you really can't trust. First of all, you can't trust anyone that the U.S. or Israel could allow extradition. So you want to say, oh, I like this part, I like this part, I like this part. The expats of the world, once someone blows the whistle, most of them go to Russia, if I'm being honest. So, like, Snowden's still in Russia. Like, so where is the safety on a global scale? Right now, the safest places look to be anywhere that won't allow, Tel Aviv and Washington and London to extradite you. So, that's take that for what you will. But no, I don't trust Malay at all. I don't trust any. Like he's too. No, fuck that. No. It's
putting his hand on the wall and crying,
bro. It's just
fuck is this shit, man?
No, bro. It's
I know is that much influence. This tiny little speck of a country, the size of smaller than the size of New Jersey, has this much sway. It's insane, bro.
Well, that's they're oligarchs in each country. When you control central banking, you control finance. Everything falls after the power dynamic. The top of the pyramid is finance. Underneath that is, in some order, media, politics, judicial branch, etc. But the top of the pyramid is money and credit. If you control, think about it, it's common sense. If you control money and credit, you control where it's distributed, who pays what interest rate. How you could vanish, like the Fed has off-balance sheet transactions to the ECB and Bank of Japan. Like if you control money and credit, you could sack every sector, and that's exactly what's happened. How have they taken over all these countries? They control fucking money and credit. If you control money and credit, you could sack the sectors after that. Shortly after money and credit comes that you have to get a monopoly on media and education, because that's how you define reality. So media and education, if you don't control media and education, but you control money and credit, the media and education will blow the whistle on the money and credit scam. Does that make sense? So the shortly after banking and central banking is media and education, and then the next sector is probably politics and plugging all your mayors in there. The more than what I give them the most credit for, V, is the spying for sure, and the blackmail. I mean that's just, it's impressive any way you slice it.
Yeah, absolutely correct, man. Absolutely correct. Gustavo, thank you so much for returning. We look to have you on again. Back to the routine, bro. I mean, people need to hear you. People need to hear your voice. People need to take advantage of the strategies you guys offer over at Perpetual Assets.
I wish I was the bearer of better news. Yeah, I mean, I'm upset. I'm not upset about it. It's more like, you were hoping, like I said, if you want to take an optimistic approach, say, maybe they stop molesting kids for a few years. I don't know. Like maybe we won't see Satan worshiping on TV as much for a year or two. I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, I wish I was the bearer of better news, or the way how I view things anyway. But we might have just had the biggest political scam pulled on us ever the last year. Like, we were told one thing, and he literally is doing the exact opposite of everything he said he would do. So take it for what you will, brother. Take it for what you will.
Very well said. And with that being said, folks, we're at the end of the show. Thank you all for listening in. Again, you can follow Gus over at perpetualassets.com, perpetualassets.com. Do not let your 401k become a 101k. Get a hold of Gus Demos over at perpetualassets.com. With that being said, Cowboy, take it away.